Hi, and welcome to a special mini-sode of This Toxic Fandom covering UK versus the World, Series 3, Episode 3, the Miss Snatch Game Pageant. Jen, we're gonna ramble about this for around 15 minutes. Say hi, Toxic Fan.
Hello.
Introduce yourself, Toxic Fan.
Hi, I'm David Gorin, and nope, I'm not going to make that joke. Damn.
And I'm Jolie, and I shaved my mustache.
Funnily enough, that's kind of what mine.
I know, David. Anyway,
Hardly know her. There we go.
I think that, in fairness, we literally did have a I hardly know her about a certain last name that I think we can't say because we're currently on YouTube right now, and that will get this video flagged.
Yeah, I mean, we're not probably going to get monetized for this, but I also don't want to get demonetized.
Anyway, we get into the queens are back in the workroom. Minty is happy to have gotten the first chippy tea.
Yep.
I don't think anyone's that sad to see Melinda go.
No.
I think people kind of saw the writing on the wall, unfortunately, when it came to Melinda Verga.
Yeah, I think that the sad truth about Melinda Verga is that they were really hoping that maybe she was just going to make good television. And
I think that when she didn't
Yeah.
freak out at them in Untucked, they were like, well, why did we bring a Canadian here?
Exactly.
We had to import a Canadian here. That's actually why they can't have Canadians on. They can't do a Canadian on regular Drag Race anymore because they'd have to pay tariffs.
Oh, God.
Anyway, they learned the Maxi Challenge this week is a Snatch Game Pageant.
Yes.
Which I do like non-traditional Snatch Games for UK versus the World because it gives the queens a more thinking room in Snatch Game, which I think is really important because not all these girls speak English. We start getting around as to who everyone's doing.
And we find out that actually this Snatch Game is going to have a few portions. The first portion is introduction. The second is Q&A. The third is swimsuit. I thought there was another one, and then it was swimsuit.
No.
Okay, then the third is swimsuit.
Yeah, and we just kind of, we learned that, like, Kate Butch is like, well, my Kate Bush, the 3 out of the 4 judges loved my Kate Bush, and you were the 4th.
Yes.
So now I'm going to do something that even you'll understand, Rue. Humpty Dumpty. You can't make fun of bald people to RuPaul. It's a sensitive subject. We have Fontana, who's going to be doing Carmen Miranda.
Yes.
Godland is doing a lot of vocal fry for Cardi B.
Which makes no sense.
And she's like, oh, so are you going to give her vocal fry? And she went, no. And she's like, do you like Cardi B? She went, no.
She's like, I kind of know who she is. I don't really know who she
Here's
is.
the thing. We learned from this episode, one, that I think that Godland gets RuPaul's sense of humor really well.
Yes.
But also, Godland and RuPaul know about the same amount about Cardi B, which is just a wet-ass pussy joke.
I don't even think that Godland knew that. I think that Godland got wet-ass pussy. Like, it was kind of like the,
It was kind of like the sushi moment from...
exactly.
Where Godland got wet-ass pussy from RuPaul mentioning it initially.
And she went, done.
Yeah, we have Mariah Balenciaga, who's doing Jackie Harry.
Yes.
Which is smart, but it is one of those doing RuPaul's friends.
Yeah.
Who does Serena Morena say she's going to do?
She says she's going to do someone that is, like, very close to... It's like a Mexican celebrity that no one has heard. I mean, I didn't know who it was.
I was like, I don't remember who it was. And then so she switches last second to Charo.
Again, one of RuPaul's very good friends.
And someone that Ru, like, I think doing Charo is next to impossible because you have to do a perfect Charo because the thing that RuPaul finds funny about Charo is Charo.
Yeah, and having seen Charo a bunch recently, like, it's funny because in a weird way, her Charo and Godlin's Cardi B both reminded me of Lil Kenya Michael's Beyonce, but in 2 very different ways.
Hilarious in every way.
Yes.
It was funny because she walks out and she's like, aren't you from Spain? Because she's wearing a Mexican flag dress. And she's like, yes, because I didn't have an outfit for Charo and this kind of fit, so I'm going to give an explanation. Coochie coochie.
As I say, from the waist up, she was kind of giving Charo.
It's a little bit busted for Charo, but it's not, it's Charo the later years.
I will say this, that one thing that Charo does do is she is very pro kind of all like Latino countries.
Mhm.
And she talks about it because she believes that, and I mean, she's correct, that she is the person who has very much knocked down doors and borders for, like, she's basically like, pop stars have come to me and said, if there was no Charo, there would be no Shakira.
Then we get Minty Fresh, who's just being generically a unicorn.
Why?
You gotta make choices sometimes. We have Sminty Drop as the big bad wolf. This is brilliant.
Yes.
She plays a Valley Girl big bad wolf, which is
Yes.
so funny.
Very funny.
The only Naomi is playing Gerhardt H, and the H stands for a certain failed art student. And
Who loved dogs.
And she's playing his gay brother. The reasoning behind it that the alt-right is currently encroaching in both the US and Germany, and she wants to talk about it, and this is her platform to do so, is great. This Snatch Game's wild. And she's noted in this episode, and I will just say, I'm starting to think that UK versus the World is doing top 2, bottom 4.
Yes.
And then saving one of the bottoms. But they're not really explaining that well.
Yeah.
So it does seem like there's a top 3. And it's wild.
Regardless, she does use this as a platform to talk about how there is a lot of rhetoric that was used around World War II that is being brought back into Germany right now. And Germany is famously a place that was like, yep, never again.
Yeah.
And they very much do not talk about the events of World War II.
Well, no, they talk, you have to learn about them
Yes.
because you have to learn about how not to do them
Exactly.
again.
And yet somehow it's happening again.
The internet's a bad place.
Yes.
And then Zahira Zapanta is doing Jessica Alves, who did you also think she was mispronouncing Jessica Alba?
Yes.
And then she was like, the living Ken doll into Barbie doll. I went, that's not who Jessica Alba is. Jessica Alves is like an internet celebrity who gets a lot of plastic surgery. I remember seeing her years ago when she was the living Ken doll. I haven't seen the Barbie version.
I haven't either.
I don't really need to, but good for her, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway, are there any big moments from the Snatch Game that you really connected to?
A lot of the Only Naomi's jokes did tickle me.
I just found it uncomfortable.
Oh, I just loved how she was hitting on RuPaul.
I also just didn't think it was. I will say this. I don't think this performance would be different if she was playing any other German man.
Fair.
That was maybe my biggest problem, was that I wasn't getting any. There was political commentary on the outside for what she was doing.
Yes.
There was no reason for her to be doing this.
It wasn't Kimchi
doing Kimmy Jong-un.
Which apparently they also could not show any of because they said that it was hysterical, but also wildly offensive.
I mean, there's a lot of Snatch Games like that.
Yeah. We forgot to mention that the 2 judges for the Snatch pageant are 2 members of the Pussycat Dolls, neither being Nicole Scherzinger.
Yeah, I was surprised that Jade wasn't also a Snatch Game guest.
Yeah.
I guess they just were like, these 2 don't want to buy a hat, so they're the better Pussycat Dolls. Now, I think my favorite moment was, I loved Humpty Dumpty saying, "I've got a degree."
Which is funny, because one of my favorite moments was Humpty Dumpty coming, because I was like, how the hell are they going to do swimsuit with Humpty Dumpty? And it was just floaties.
I loved Humpty Dumpty. That was my favorite.
Yeah.
But I think Kate Butch and I have a very similar sense of humor.
Oh, same.
That RuPaul does not share.
Yeah.
Last week you were like, well, RuPaul loves Kate Butch. And I was like, when?
Touche.
Name one time.
Touche. But I think my favorite joke was probably Cardi B, what should I do about dry feet? And she said, put it in the wet ass pussy.
Some people are into that sort of thing. David, don't kink shame.
I'm not kink shaming it. That was my favorite part.
David is kink shaming wet ass pussies. I also think Mariah could have been high. I understand if you're only doing a top 2 and you've decided Godlin is the winner, that Sminty was the second best.
Yeah.
My top 3 personally was Mariah, Sminty, and Kate.
Mine were definitely Godland, Kate, and maybe the Only Naomi, but I don't know why. I thought it was good.
I hated Only Naomi, and I did
liked
not
it.
like her runway.
Fair.
But should we bring it to the runway?
Runway?
Runway. First, before we talk about the runway, we got to talk about RuPaul's wearing an outfit. Well, she's barely wearing an outfit. She's wearing a third of an outfit.
Isn't this the look that she did for the promo for Drag Race last year?
It could be.
Because I remember that wig. Like, I see that wig and that top of that dress, and I just remember her, like, having, like, a looking over the shoulder moment.
Maybe. She regularly, you can tell when Drag Race promos are filmed because it tends to be the same outfit.
Yeah, I think it was that. But I like that look, actually.
And category is Let Them Eat Cape.
Yes.
And first up is Minty Fresh. I really love this. I think she looks really cool
Agreed.
and angelic. My one problem with it is that because she has to lip sync in it, I don't love the white mascara on the eye for having to perform in. I like it from a fashion aesthetic, but when she has to perform in it, it just makes her eyes disappear.
Yeah.
Next up is Sminty Drop, and she's serving Cunty Shadow.
Agreed.
So her kind of premise is that she's holding a candelabra in one hand, which is lighting only a small part of her body.
Yes.
And the rest is completely draped in this cape shadow.
Yeah, it's giving very, like, Wuthering Heights. It's giving like Victorian realness for the UK.
I really like it conceptually, but it's not my favorite look. Up next, we have Serena Morena. And she clearly just glued a cape onto an outfit that existed.
Yes.
I almost, like, truly, they get to change with this one, so she doesn't even need to worry about the lip sync later.
Yeah.
But it literally looks like she's not wearing parts of it because she has to lip sync in it. I think this is just one of those outfits that, like, she assumed the cape category wasn't going to be a big one, and so she wasn't worried about it, maybe.
I mean, it's very much giving, like, a Dios de los Muertos vibe. But
that's really mean to Dia de los Muertos.
Fair.
Like, reasonably, if she'd done a Dia de los Muertos vibe, this look could have been stunning. It just, I think...
It was very quick.
It's just bones glued to a nude corset.
Yes.
Next up, we have Mariah Paris Balenciaga wearing a fitted sheet. It literally does... Michelle makes a joke about it, and I went, it literally looks like a fitted sheet made out of a trash bag.
Yeah. I mean, she was going for that, like, Superfly, Missy Elliott vibe.
No, she was going for Grace Jones.
Yes.
Like a specific magazine spread of Grace Jones. And, like, I haven't seen that photo, so maybe this is a really faithful recreation to it.
I mean, she's kind of giving, like, superhero to an extent.
To an extent. Which I was surprised we didn't get more of superheroes in a cape category.
Yeah.
Up next, we have
Kate Bush.
And she's giving Sherlock Homo.
Yep. Or she's giving Cape Bush.
Cape Fear. But that's only because of her makeup.
Yeah. I liked this Sherlock Holmes look.
This is probably my favorite thing she's maybe ever worn.
Yeah.
Like, she looks nice. It fits her well. She says she made it. I like that she was like, I didn't want to just put a cape on something, which I think is absolutely what a lot of these girls did.
Agreed.
She's like, the cape is necessary to the outfit.
Yes.
And all I gotta say is Cape Crusader. I don't even know her.
And also the other thing that I will say about it that I did love is that it's very faithful to Sherlock Holmes.
Next up is The Only Naomi. And speaking of someone who just tacked a cape onto another look.
It's very bed sheets.
It's very... This is one of the looks where, like, the cape is just a piece of fabric.
Yes.
It is literally, she just... An uncut 8 yards of fabric are just on the back of her outfit.
I mean, uncut 8 yards is just, well, never mind.
If you have... Anyway.
You're like, and that's all we have to say on that.
Yeah, and anyway, next up we have Zahara Zapantha.
And it's cool. That's all I have. It's cool.
Riveting, David. I like it. I like the mustache. I'm not sure why. I do think it's funny because the Z and the mustache does make it feel like a Zorro reference.
Yes.
And it isn't, I don't think.
No, it's a Zahara.
Yeah. It's just very funny. Next up, we have a little Sailor Moon action.
I really like this one. I think it's very pretty. I love the color. I love, like, the whole thing.
Yeah. It's honestly, yeah, no, she looks beautiful. She's stunning. She is one of the prettiest queens in this current season.
Agreed.
Like, reasonably, like, I cannot get over how pretty Fontana is.
Yes. I love her.
Yeah. It's a shame because they've been doing a lot of challenges that aren't necessarily her bag. So I'm hoping they get back. I think next week is girl group, so I think she's going to be rising back to the top because she's fantastic. And finally, we have Godland, and oh my fucking god,
Lend.
This is so good.
Yes,
this dueling fish look.
It's like the thing about Godland that is it's crazy. It feels like she's gonna Ben de la Creme this
competition.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, she is doing incredible work. She looks stunning.
Yeah.
I was so impressed when she walked out in this.
Yeah.
It is leaps and bounds better than what every other person on the runway is wearing, to such a degree that, like, I understand why you had to make sure she was high. And I even understand why she won once she was high.
Yeah.
Because she was funny. She made Rue laugh so hard.
Yeah.
And Jesus Christ, this is one of the best runways
Absolutely.
we might get all season.
Absolutely.
Unless this is not even her best look. Who knows? This isn't even her finale.
Yeah.
We get into notes, and Kate, Zahira, and Mariah are all called safe. We have our bottom three, who are Minty Fresh for the second time, unfortunately. Fontana, upsetting, and Serena Morena.
Mm-hmm.
All of them kind of know that they're there. We have the only Naomi, who I think might be low, might be high. I can't tell what's going on.
She's like, we're going to talk to you, but you're firmly in neither camp.
Yeah.
Oh, also, just because I have to say it, I'm very happy that the guest judge this week was Jade, because I am having such a Jade moment, and I love her.
Were you green with envy that you couldn't be there yourself?
I was Jade with envy.
We then have Sminty in the top.
Yes.
Which she is over the moon about. She went from going home in an improv challenge to placing high in Snatch Game.
Yes.
Good for her, but the winner this week is Godland.
Again.
She has the chippy tea, and she, I think, looked over and went, Fontana's like my biggest competition.
Yeah.
And Minty's fierce competition.
And I already saved Minty once.
I already saved Minty once. Here's Serena. Here's the chippy tea. Make these two fight.
One other thing that we should mention is that in some ways it very is Fontana's special episode, because in Untucked, she talks about how when she gets severe anxiety, she vomits. Because at one point she's like, I'm really sorry. And just someone screams, bucket. And she just starts puking into a bucket.
Can't you just faint like a respectable girl?
No, she has to do that later.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, the lip sync song is Angel of My Dreams by Jade.
So good.
I didn't realize this was the Jade song.
Yeah.
Because I just heard it. I was like, oh, I know this one.
Yeah, because I played it for you.
I think I've also heard it in other
places.
places.
No, I played it for you the first time because you were like, oh, I like this. I remember.
And then I think it also TikTok trended.
It definitely TikTok trended. It's a very good lip sync.
Minty is a great performer, but Fontana is just really turning it out. And again, I think that Minty is held back by her makeup. I think that white mascara makes it genuinely difficult for her to like emote the way she needs to.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she was kind of just hoping she wasn't going to be up there.
Yeah.
She's like, save me once, maybe she'll do it again.
Yep.
Maybe we're besties.
Maybe this is a Roxy Andrews moment.
But unfortunately, Minty Fresh is told to sashay away. Fontana is told to Shantae, which means she stays and does a little dance.
No, she doesn't just do a little dance. So RuPaul goes, Fontana, and she goes, and then she goes, Shantae, you stay. And she collapses to the ground, starts crying, rolling on the floor like she lost her man. It cuts to Jade, who just goes, obsessed.
Same.
And then cuts back to her, still rolling on the floor, cuts to RuPaul, who's like, I'm not impressed. She gets up, does a dance, and goes, thank you. And then it doesn't even matter that Minty's there.
Ru is like, why couldn't you just have done the feint?
Exactly.
Like, you're taking too much of my time right now.
Truly.
And then, unfortunately, Minty Fresh is told to sashay away. I'm a little sad. The Philippines girls just operate on such a high level.
Yeah.
And I did love Minty in her season.
Yes.
I do think that she unfortunately had a rough go these last 2 weeks.
Yes.
And I understand her going home, and I think she lost the lip sync. But I'm not happy with it. I don't like it. I think I'm gonna be upset with a lot of people going home this season.
It's just, like, I'm not gonna lie, after this episode, I did have a moment going like, I wish we were covering this more in depth because I do genuinely like these queens and this season in a way that I was not expecting.
Yeah, because I always find Versus the Worlds to feel like filler.
Yeah.
And this one, I'm just like, the majority of the filler is in their faces.
Yeah.
Which is just a normal All-Star season.
Truly. And it's kind of crazy because they sat on this one for a while.
Their faces?
Yes.
Anyway, make sure to tune in to our podcast, This Toxic Fandom, to hear our review of the main season of RuPaul's Drag Race. Comment, like, and subscribe below. Hit that bell if you're into it. And until next time.
Stay toxic, angels.
Angels of my dream.
I will always